Scaling a business is all about people. You cannot grow a business without people. You cannot grow an organization without great people. And this is where wealth and talent dynamics comes in. Now, how many of you have hired people over the past and they've not been quite right? Phenomenal individuals, you know what, bundles of enthusiasm, bundles of energy, but they just didn't quite hit the mark. One of the things I like what Jim Collins talks about, he talks about getting the right people in the right seats, doing the right things. And I totally believe in that, but he misses one significant point. They have to be in flow. So what is flow? Think about it. We are all born naturally gifted and talented, and we have some strengths in us that are just magnificent. And you know what these strengths are, because you'll be doing a particular task or something in life, and it is just effortless. You're just having so much fun. It's easy. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like you're playing. And when you get into that play zone, that is when you are in flow. And a guy called Roger Hamilton, he's created a profiling tool that just measures flow. So for a lot of you, you've had profiling tools done in the past, I'm sure. Some of the corporates, they use either Myers-Briggs or Belbin. A lot of the SME marketplace, they use DISC, which is really good for communication. And what Wealth and Talent Dynamics measure is this thing called flow. You at your very best. So have you hired someone in the past, they've interviewed really well, matched your core values, and you think, yeah, perfect fit. You've hired them, you've started them, and for 6 weeks, they've performed exceptionally well, and you're thinking, yeah, finally got the person on board, and then maybe 6 to 8 weeks, their performance drops off a cliff, and you think, shit, what's happened here? Can you relate to that? Yep, I've been there. A lot of my clients have been there. And the reality is, we as individuals can fake flow, which means we can work out our natural position for a sustained period of time. And very often people do that because they're desperate for a job and they just want to work. But the reality is, what happens by human nature, we tend to then default to our natural position, whichever profile that may be. And if that profile isn't right for the job, that's when the conflict happens. And a lot of my clients will attest to it. We've had that time and time again. It's by using the actually Wealth and Talent Dynamic tool, we've actually been able to identify a much greater success rate where people can be happy. Now, that's not to say you can't sustain work out of flow. What do I mean by that? Well, you get the occasional freak that can just work out of flow. And that's absolutely fine. But the reality is they are so few and far between. They're rare as rocking horse shit or a unicorn. So don't rely on that as a strategy to sort of hire your team. So if you want to find out a little bit more about yourself, actually where your strengths are, and really what you should be focusing on. Because there is no point on focusing your efforts where you're not strong. Because it's going to feel like you are pulling teeth. It's going to feel like, well, you don't want to do it. And the reality is, if you don't want to do something, you are going to proactively avoid doing it, which means you're going to find other stuff to do that you think is going to be far more important, because actually it prevents you and gives you a reason not to do the stuff you need to do. So if you want to find out your flow, take the test. If you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, a managing director, then take the Wealth Dynamics test. The reason for that is the languaging is designed for you. You'll be able to relate to it. And if you're an employee, and you may be an employee really happy in your job and just want a better understanding of yourself, take the Talent Dynamics test. Or you may be an employee that really isn't happy, doing stuff they absolutely hate and wondering, where do I fit into all of this? What really should I be doing in my life? You too, take the Talent Dynamic test. Find out where your strengths are, be happy, and get the role, get the job that you were born and designed to do.